Dairy is the culprit of a lot of diseases, a lot of discomfort. And I'm not only talking about with women, although what I'm going to be talking about is geared around women because I'm going to speak with my experience on how dairy ruined my perfect attendance in school, way back, and then kind of ruined it in the real world for me as I got older with work, but it wasn't for that long. So I don't know. Sorry, all moving. From conversations that I have with people, from the minute that I even mentioned it, this is when Facebook, if you're old enough to know, like MySpace was just phasing out. Facebook was starting to pop off, and I wrote a status, and I was like, I'm finally done with dairy. Like, I'm done. And all the comments started coming in, and it was just like, ooh, better you than me, and blah, blah, blah. I love my dairy. I can't, and I'm specifically speaking about like cheese, because that is the number one thing people think of when you say I gotta stop the dairy. Right? They don't even care about like their coffee addiction. They're not even thinking about that. They're like, dang, you giving up cheese? Oh my God. Like, I can't. So everybody was going, and I was like, yep, this is it. Like, I'm done torturing myself because of an addiction, because that's what it was. And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. So when I was younger and my period came about, junior high school was around the time it really just, like, the cramp stuff started really kicking in, right? Initially I didn't associate it with, like, when I first got my period, I didn't think of it was cramping. I'm thinking it's just that time of the month, so things is just happening, like the mystical stuff was happening. I didn't grow up in a circle and have people really like inform me what the hell to expect, right? Outside of like a book, a video, and like, hey girl, welcome to adulthood. What? I am only 11. What the hell are you talking about, right? That's when I got mine. But now junior high school, you 12, you 13. At least in my neck of the woods, you were. And my attendance was amazing in school, outside of other stuff, but attendance, being punctual, that's been me. My parents was on that with us growing up. And Yawn has made her entrance. Yeah, she says what's up. She is co-signing these stories. So if I yawn throughout me talking, just ride with it. So junior high school was around the time that the stuff that started, going up, meaning the pain that I had. So I would stay home, and I would be pissed because I'm just like, dang, why am I missing school because of this, like, this stuff that's happening? This ain't never happened before. And my mother was like, girl, you're gonna have to do something. And I'm like, I don't want to take no, like, since I've been young, I did not like taking pills. And it all makes sense now, as to why I didn't. Because I don't fuck with over-the-counter stuff. I will ride out pain till the night and dawn of another day. Which that's what I did a lot of, which is why I stayed home. And I would basically voluntarily fast. And I would be throwing up. I would eat, be hungry, and I'd be like, all right, bet. I know in a couple of hours it's going to be over for the 2000. And I'm laying down, and I'm hurling, and I'm literally going through the symptoms of birth. Like, I need silence. I need everybody to be still. I'll be walking around my house, walking and sleeping, like literally, because if I sat down, then it was just like I messed up the rhythm of soothing myself. Because if I sat down and the pain did something else, so rather than me walking and I lean against the wall, I sleep. Wherever I was, whatever I did, I had to stay there. So if I sat in a chair, reclining chair, I had to stay there when the pain started calming down. Because if I moved and tried to go lay in the bed, it's gonna go right up to 1,000 again. I don't know the science behind that. I just know my body, or I knew it. So I would stay home, and my dad was so funny because he'd be like, it'd be summertime, right? And I'll be in the room, and I sweat like I'll be cold. It's summertime. I don't want no fan on. I don't want no air on. I just want to lay down because I'm having chills. Body's going through withdrawals, having these menopause symptoms at this young ass age. And he'd be like, "Oh shit, I know what this means. You got that thing? All right, let me leave." And I'd be like, "Dad, can you talk lower, please? Because everything is bothering me." He's like, "All right, all right, all right." I'll stay in the room, like sun is shining bright, and then I'll be in that room, sleep, knocked out in darkness, in whatever, I'll get in my pajamas or whatever, and lay down. And then, like, if it was winter, I'd lay with my layers that was, like, under my clothes, like my street clothes. And my family just knew, because I am I don't want to say outspoken, but I am a little. And I am vibrant, so you hear me in the house, I greet you, you come in. So if it's quiet and you don't hear me making no noise, you're going to be like, uh-oh, something not right, because Marisha's being still. And it's not being still because of she praying or she in meditation, something else. So that happened for a few years, and then my mom was just like, you're going to have to change up what you're eating, like not verbatim like that. And I'm just like, what? She's like, I think it's the dairy. And I'm like, what? So remember now, I'm backtracking, telling you where it started, where I started paying attention to this, because my attendance started jacking up, and we were trying to get to the source of this, because I was not going to continue bailing out of school or work because of some cramps. So she's like, how about you just stop eating dairy for like a month? I'm like, nah. What? Sound like them people who was writing on my status. I was like, okay. Because remember, with me growing up, it was cheese fries, cheese pizza, cheeseburger, cheese pizza, extra cheese, cheese toast, grilled cheese, what else? I didn't do no cheese and eggs, none of that. Blech. No, not me. Cheese snacks, so like cheese doodles, any cheesy popcorn, anything that I didn't do milk growing up, because my mom is a particular eater and my dad is a particular eater too, but he's more out there. He drinks milk. My mother was just like, ugh. But milk, just to talk about it right now, still make me want to gag. And this is when I was still consuming animals. Okay, so I didn't pour a lot of milk in my cereal when I ate that. That was another thing too. I had to stop that. So I had stopped the dairy with milk and the sugar, milk in my cereal. Basically anything that had dairy in it, I was just like, we was like, yeah, no, we gotta quit that for a month. So we did that. And then the following month, my cycle came, and it was like me skipping in the land of daisies. And then my mother and I was like, that's it. You're going to have to stop. But addiction, being that young and hanging out, birthday cakes, and, everything that has milk in it, or a lot of people were eating things that had cheese on it. So it was ice creams and all of these things that I had to just like give up. Like what? I am 12, 13 years old. So I've been consuming these things, and it's just like now you just like, yeah, nah, you gotta stop. So I did good for a month, and I was yo-yoing with that for a couple of years. My mother was like, just know that when you have it, expect your cycle for the next month to be raising the roof, and that's what it was for a while. Um, I would go on a voluntary fast because, again, like I said, the first day going into the second day, it was HE. Tell him, Jan, tell him it was HE double hockey sticks, and I am not joking. I could laugh at it now because I made it through it. My sister would get a kick out of it sometime, and she would come in the house and see me like in a certain chair, laying in a certain way. And if you have a child or you've been in labor, you know that rocking thing. You know how you breathing. Or you sit down in the chair and you want to take a nap. Like you just find that comfortable spot, and then you just like you want to stay right there. So my sister would be like, "Oh, this girl having a baby." Like I was having a baby without having a baby. I don't care what nobody say. I was suffering from all of the menopausal stuff that women go through because of all the crap that I was consuming, specifically dairy, hot, cold flashes, and the the cramps were coming in like contractions. So like it would come down, and I could get a nap. I wasn't even aware of time of how long I would sleep, but it felt so short. And excuse me, I was able to time it. So I would be like, all right, my period coming. And I could feel the temperature. Like if I was at school, I'd be like, nope, let me get home. Or let me go get some. And I started taking Motrin. These cramps was like spitting out Motrin, okay? They was like spitting out Excedrin, spitting out any pain reliever I was putting in. It got so bad that I went to the GYN and had a prescription. And I call them horse pills. Y'all know them giant little pills, right? It look like the emoji. So being a 12, 13, taking them pills, having to take them, my body was like, what? Please. And I was vomiting everything. And that was also my introduction to tea around that time. So my body was just like, yeah, no, this not gonna work. I tried the chamomile tea. I tried all the calming teas, and none of it worked still. Absolutely none. My body was like a capital G, and she was just like, I am going through hell down here. Do not put that crap, don't add more crap in here. So, fast forward a few years, and I got a little better with taking longer breaks. So I still wasn't skipping out on it, but I was taking longer breaks. So I was getting better with it. And I was getting better with it. But I was still eating it. So then when I was eating it, I was having it in like large doses. And I feel like that's also parasitic stuff happening now that I can look back at it. It was like, oh, you made me miss out on this thing I want. I'm addicted to it, and you made me miss out on it. Now you're going to crave it double time. And that's what was popping off. And fast forward even more, continuing to tap into learning about stuff that I was consuming, what I was exposed to. And I was like, yeah, nah, it's over now. Like, it's really, I stopped dairy before, or consumption of that before I stopped consuming animals. So I was just like straight up dairy. So the ice cream, the cheese, all of that stuff, right? I gave that up. So I was still having like bread and stuff that had it in it, but it wasn't like the first ingredient, which makes a difference. Although it was still fucking me up, it wasn't like straight out the gate hard or extreme, like as if when I had cheese or like cereal with regular milk. So it was at a tolerant point, but I was still like sore and tender and all of that stuff. But I was not trying to continue to have, missing out on work now, because now we move forward some years, right? I didn't want to miss out on anything that I wanted to be a part of. And I'm just like, why do I have to stay home? Why do I have to stay inside and lay down? It's summertime. I want to be outside. And I hang outside too as much as I can. And I'd be like, y'all gotta go. They like, the people I was hanging with, wherever I was, family, whoever, they like, what's wrong? I'm like, my period. I'm not gonna stay out here. I do not feel good. I don't want to take no pills. I just want to thug it out. And that's what I did. I was sweating. I was going through having the chills. And nothing was working for me. And, looking back now and I'm talking about it, I feel like Spirit was trying to get my attention, and it was like, no, nothing's going to work. You need to change up and remove this from your diet, from your body. So, I permanently removed dairy. 2000, some early 2000. I know it, but right now, I don't recall. It was early 2000s. And that was a game changer for me. So I was just like, wait, you're really not supposed to even be experiencing this type of stuff? This is just happening because of what I'm consuming? You mean to tell me I'm the cause of what I'm causing? Really? Like, what? And if you think about it, why do they have so many commercials about dairy? You consuming cheesy pizza and this cheese, and there's a lot of commercials with cheese and milk. Why? Because they know those are the culprits that's gonna make you not feel good. And I'm speaking from my experience. And I mean, I can speak on other people's experiences as well who have, I've had conversations with, because it's been a full circle. And I'm just like, wow. So the thing that is knocking me down is the thing that they keep pushing for me to have. Here, cheesy pizza. Get it delivered late at night. Have it then. Have it in the daytime. Have your cheese and sausage biscuit. That was another thing I did have when I used to consume fast food. Sausage and cheese. No eggs. Sausage and cheese and bread. So sausage and cheese and... Well, yeah, because that's similar to a hamburger. Why do they call it a hamburger? Burger, whatever. Having the cheeseburger, cheese and sausage, same difference. It's still a meat patty. Having a meat patty, that's what it should be called. So how I got over it, how I replaced it, and I mean, I removed it completely, like the animal part, right? And now I moved forward to alternatives, and it got better and better and better because I transitioned around a time where cheese was either just made out of soy or you didn't have it at all. It wasn't like the world wasn't big on alkaline alternatives and doing all of that other stuff, right? So I was consuming the alternatives. But if you read the alternatives, and this is not to discourage you, but again, I love to tell people, as you transition, as you move in your journey, is try it out. Because guess what? I did that, right? And people, obviously, when you know better, they want the world to know so that they won't have to go through that. But some people have to go through the fire and get a little burn to understand. Not everybody moves when somebody tells them, like, by mouth. So if you want to do the alternatives because you need to feed your addiction to help, work your weight down and get out of it, then do that. But just don't stay there, because now I'm in that phase of moving from consuming the alternative cheese, because they have a lot of stuff in it too. They got a lot of stuff that's addiction driven for you. Like, why is cheese orange if milk is white? Why? Because colors mean something. Colors mean something. Okay? Just like red and yellow stimulate you, make you want to be hungry, blah, blah, blah. That's why a lot of places have red in their red in their advertisements, advertisements. How that lady said it. But yeah, it's a lot to do with making you stay addicted to it. The cheese alternatives have a list of things in them, especially if you're not making them yourself. So yeah, I'm moving out of that phase, but removing the dairy definitely was a game changer. My period got lighter, much lighter. I mean, again, it was like night and day. So people were paying attention to it too. They was just like, "Yo, you got your cycle when you out? Like, what's up? What you doing? Stop eating that dairy, and stop consuming this." And it is a challenge. It was a challenge. But to know that I had the control of how much I bled, to be able to control that and working my way through releasing that addiction. Oh man, it made me so proud. It made my womb so proud. The gushes of blood. I apologize to my womb for I didn't know better, but now I do. So I'm gonna apply that. And then I stopped missing out on work. I ain't had to worry about no pills, worry about no tea. Now I love tea. I could drink a herbal tea with drops of key lime. I don't need no sugar. That's another culprit that will add fuel to the fire. But dairy is the culprit for me that caused a lot of issues with my womb during my cycle and before and after. And changed up my attendance with work. But once I figured that out, or even school, once I figured that out, I again tapped into it. And if you've been listening, then you know that I said it didn't happen overnight. So like I toggled with it. So I did 1 month, 2 months, 1 month, and then I knew I'm like, all right, around my birthday, I know I'm gonna eat this, so let me skip out on a month here or 2 months here, because in my birthday month, I'm gonna act a little fool. But I already know what to look forward to when the thing comes. So yeah, I was taking meds and stuff, but man, and then that added fuel to the fire of why my womb was acting up too. Like after that, and there's side effects to everything. I want the good side effects, and I've fledged up with taking pills and stuff that have all these ingredients in it. Man, it has all the pills have all these ingredients in it, and consuming that also added fuel to the fire of the cramps of what was going on in my body because the chemistry. So it was just like not only the dairy, but also the pills. So then you're taking pills on top of pills on top of pills, whatever milligram. I'm so grateful. Like our bodies be going through so much, and it's just like sometimes people don't even be given two booty cheeks about it. Like just be, don't give it no break, and then wonder why shit be popping up. But these red flags are something that we need to pay attention to, and they teach us that they, meaning the world, the system, teaches you that these things are deadly. No, a cold, a tumor, a pimple, markings, lines, whatever you want to talk about. anything that you could think of, stomach pain, a ache. All these things are great because your body is giving you the signal like, yo, what's good? Pay attention to me here. The muscle is sore right here. Yeah, that's because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, your fingers is doing this. Oh, that's because X, Y, and Z. Oh, you sneezing, you coughing. That's your body trying to expel. All right, so granted, you blame somebody and say, oh, so and so made me catch a cold. Okay, first off, no. But anywho, let me circle back on the block about the cramps because I will go left and I want to stay right today. But changing up what I consumed changed everything for me. And as I continue to grow in my venture with what I'm consuming, my period is getting lighter. I've never had a period for 3 days. I mean, until like my latter years in my latter years in my 30s. I had a period for it yo-yoed between 4 and 5 for the end of my 20s, for the most duration of my 30s, and now it's shifting again. 2 to 3 days. I will go 5 if I ate crazy. And 5 is that spotting. So I'm only bleeding, like how people would think, really heavy on the very first day. And then I'm looking at my calendar as I'm talking to you guys because I'm looking at my last cycle. The very first day, going into the second are my heaviest days. And then half of the second day. Going into that, then it starts drying up. I'm very sensitive to blood smell, so I can tell when I'm not bleeding anymore. And I'm like, oh, it's drying up now. So yeah, but now if I eat a little crazy, I'm spotting for up to 5 days. So it's still counted as period because it's still blood coming out, but I'm spotting. Like, I'll have moments. It is a journey that I recommend you jump on if you are having a lot of issues. If you bleed in 7 to 8 days, you need to take heed to this, honey. It's you and that dairy. It's you and the dairy. If you have any issues with your uterus, right? Like PCOS, fibroids, just anything. Remove dairy and study yourself for at least a month and then move to 2. And then if you see the difference, you have to go through the phase like me. Because if you want to have children, if you just want to live and just be great and have a beautiful uterus and a beautiful life and not bleed for 10 or 8 to 10 days, remove it. I didn't even really consume milk or much of anything with like cottage cheese or yogurts. Like yogurt, I dabbled into it a little bit when I was on my vegan side. Again, alternatives, like I have almond-based, coconut-based, because again, I'm a particular eater. Textures get to me. So I was just like, yeah, nah, I don't want that. So I had like alternatives, yogurt with granola, because I'm a texture person. You wouldn't catch me having no type of regular, none of those yogurts, none of them, whoever you want to call. But yeah, you're going to have to start finding alternatives and making yourself better and be greater. If you have any type of uterus issues, I'm challenging you to get it together. That's my favorite line to tell people. We gotta get it together. Okay. And let go of that addiction. Let it go. It's time. It's no time like the present. It is no time like the present. Spirit led me to talk about this because I'm like, why am I talking about this? So anyway, the more you, and when you remove something, make sure you have an alternative. That is another key thing. Make sure you have an alternative. Taste buds will change. You will feel better. You will be greater. I still have a ways to go on the things that I need to work on. I know if I get a face reading right now, somebody gonna call me out on some stuff. I already know, but I'm working. I'm a work in progress. Huh. All right. Ooh. I think that's it for now. Period.